You ready for more story time?
Keep it short.
I go and find the same car that my dad decided not to buy. Great little engine, made noise, liked to rev. It was awesome. It ate itself at 60,000 miles.
Welcome to Bid Left Nut. This is the show where we talk about auction prices and cars in general. So we are doing 3 episodes on the Miata. And in each episode, we're going to play a game testing John's skill about the Miata. If you're new here, I'm Stace Ghost, and this is Johnny Miata. And this is a special episode for him because this episode is all Miata. Johnny, how are you today?
I'm doing great. I am super excited because we're going to talk about my favorite cars ever. I
Yeah.
love Miatas. They're such great cars that we're going to break this up into 3 parts.
If you like this one, watch the next one, watch the other one. And if you don't like this one, the other ones are way better.
And here's the thing, right? This is why the Miata endures. Enthusiasts want mechanical feeling automobiles because everything in 2025 is so automated that when you feel something mechanical that feels good, it makes you stop and become aware of it. It just feels so good. And that's the way the Miata felt out of the gate.
Miata is 35 plus years old at the moment. Have you driven an ND?
It's less mechanical than an NA, but it's still the same weight. So they were able to, over these last 35 years, stick to the script. And the script is, let's make a lightweight sports car that is connected to the road and makes the driver and the car feel like one.
You mentioned that you owned a number of NAs. The car was as close to perfection as it could be coming from the factory, but nothing's ever perfect. What would you have changed to improve the car?
You ready for more story time?
Keep it short.
I go and find Mariner Blue Miata, the same car that my dad decided not to buy. And so when you ask me what would I change about it, what I would change about it is the short nose crank. Because my first 2 week of production Miata that had all of these little details that only early Miatas had, the dreaded short nose crank problem. It had a 1.6 liter dual overhead cam, 4-cylinder, great little engine, made noise, liked to rev. It was awesome. It also ate itself at 60,000 miles, but I did not have enough money to replace the engine when it popped. So I ended up selling it for like $500. And it really put me in a hole. So
Emotionally or financially?
both. It was heartbreaking because I love that car.
So how common was that? So you keep mentioning the first 2 weeks of production. So was it just the really early cars, or was it all 1.6 liter engines?
The 1.6 went from the first of the first, so summer of 89 through 1993, but the short nose crank problem existed not in all cars, but in some up until I believe like mid 1992. So, we've talked about 911s in previous episodes, and maybe we can put a link or something, but talk about 911s having an IMS issue, right?
Yep.
An issue that would eat the engine, deem it worthless. And so the Miatas had a very similar problem. I don't know what the percentage is of cars that were affected. You knew to avoid the early cars.
Was there a fix that you could have done, or was it just luck of the draw, boom, when its time was up?
You would go on the forums. There were some people promoting JB welding the front of the crank, and that was going to fix it. I did find a guy that would help me figure that out. He seemed pretty reputable. He had a bunch of Miatas. It didn't work. Really, the thing that you had to do is either replace the crankshaft, which was expensive and you're tearing the engine apart, or you just replaced it with another engine. Earlier, you had asked me, like, what modification would you want to make it better? Put a set of sticky tires on it. That's the biggest difference you can make performance-wise.
Something that I always thought was really interesting with the Miata is that it turned ordinary people into enthusiasts. So Mazda makes this car to recapture the magic of 60s, 70s British roadsters. But those cars were geared toward or appreciated by people who are already car enthusiasts. What do you think it was about the Miata that could take somebody who was looking for transportation but wanted a sort of fun car? They buy a Miata, it all clicks, and they're like, I love driving. Driving is a thing. It's no longer just transportation.
The Miata fits the bill. It was inexpensive. It wasn't that much more money than, say, a 323 or a 626. Could afford it. They get in because it's a low entry point and still reliable. And then they realize, oh my goodness, suddenly the journey is the destination because driving this car is something I want to do. If I have to be at work at 9 o'clock, maybe I'll get up and get out the door at 7 just so I can drive for a little while. And for a lot of folks, that had never happened before. It's not a fast car. Okay, it had less than 120 horsepower originally. But the way the car handled, those double wishbones that we talked about, all of it combines to provide an experience. Driving that car feels so connected and so right. And all of that is due to the fact that every decision that Mazda made was a result of making sure this car was exciting to drive. But Jinbai Atai means horse and rider. This car, you have a connection to it. I keep saying that word connection because you feel the car, you feel what it's doing. The exhaust note is tuned exactly so that it sounds like a little British roadster, so that it sounds the right way. You feel like you're part of the car. They don't go fast down a straight line, but once you hit a curve, you don't have to hit the brakes because they handle so well.
When it first came out, what colors was it available in?
You had your choice of classic red, still white, or mariner blue. I know I used to call mine Smurf blue.
It's fair.
Very Smurfy.
Yeah.
The only other thing I can tell you about those three original colors is crystal white had the unique ability to peel all of its paint off. In the late 80s, early 90s, most manufacturers had problems with white paint, and Mazda was no exception.
So would that paint peel itself off after some time, or just when you're driving down the road and a gust of wind hits it?
It definitely was some time, but it was the first color to start failing. A lot of manufacturers have had recalls over paint throughout the years. General Motors had a problem with white. Honda as late as 2010, 2012. The next time you see that generation Pilot or Odyssey, look on the roof because about half of them have missing paint on the roof. White, for some reason, is a really hard color to keep on your car.
Would you say that the phrase white on rice then is a misnomer?
I don't know who I would say that to, but I would maybe make that argument.
All right. Over the years, there were some special edition Miatas. First of all, they're all special, just like every driver of Miata is a little special. When was the first official special edition?
We're going geeky now. You ready? Halfway through 1990, but they added a color to the lineup. Silverstone, they called it, presumably after the racetrack. But the first official special edition was a 1991 British Racing Green on biscuit leather.
Were the special editions much more expensive or an extra $50?
More expensive than like a base model. So didn't provide many parts beyond a special color. In most cases, these were an appearance package. As Mazda went throughout the NA life cycle, they changed the name of special edition a couple times. Some interior doodads. I know that Nardi partnered with Mazda for some of these cars. So you got a shift knob and you got a handbrake lever.
Here we're gonna go through the colors of the NA Miata.
So 1991, we already talked about the British Racing Green. In 1992, there was a Sunburst Yellow. In addition to that, there was the first black Miata. That one had a tan leather interior. In 1993, you had the black come back as a special edition. This one was with a red leather interior. The red leather interior also had a Panasonic stereo with equalizer and these like really cool aluminum adornments on the speaker grills. 1994 gave us the R model. We'll talk about that in a moment. In addition to that, 94 had Laguna Blue as the special edition. 1995 was a Merlot, which was purple. It was aubergine or eggplant, depending on how you identify, with a tan leather interior. 1996 was green mica, I believe. And then 1997 was the green mica. I believe they called it the
96 was the
STO.
blue mica. 96 was the blue mica.
96 was the blue mica, and then 97 was the green, metallic British Racing Green, different from the 1991, which was non-metallic.
I know you're a fan of the dad jokes, so I'm curious. Do you know which Miata a pirate would drive?
Would a pirate drive?
The R package.
That was awesome. Masterful.
Yeah.
Well played, sir. Let's talk about the R package for a second.
The cars handled so well from the factory. Was there like a normal and a sport version aside from the R package, but were the cars sprung similarly?
You did have the R package, but for the most part, for most people that went in to buy a car, you had the base model that had really no options. And then you had a option package A, option package B, and option package C. Did it have air conditioning? Was it available with an automatic? Did it have leather? Did it have an upgraded stereo? Really, what the R package gave you, first off, it's worth noting, the R package came out in 94, culminated in 1997, the last year of the NA. And that car came with lighter wheels. They were already light, but these were hollow spoke wheels. It came with an upgraded suspension. I believe it had Bilsteins on it. It had a rear spoiler, front air dam, I don't remember. Had in 95, 96, and 97 a tighter steering rack. It definitely wasn't power steering. So these cars are sought out. They were enthusiasts really like the extra performance that these provided. But it is also worth noting, because we talked about, are these fast cars? There were no modifications to make it faster.
There were no modifications to give it more power, but it probably handled a little better, so it could have been faster through corners.
Yes, and it was lighter because it was based off of a base model with not a lot of options.
So you mentioned power steering. I know that all of the original or the first batch of Miatas did not have power steering, and later it was added. Was it an option later, or did they all come with power steering?
And I genuinely don't know the answer. I don't know if it was part of option B or C
Okay.
that you could get power steering. I don't remember. So if anybody knows, please drop it in the comments.
Do you know the production numbers of the R? Because I have them right here.
We have I know we went from 94 to 97, and I know 97 was like a ridiculously small number.
47. So in 1997, there were only 47 R package cars. In 96, there were 111. In 95, there were 465. But the most came out in 94, and there were a little bit more than 1,200. Still not huge production numbers, right?
That is definitely low production. And they were sought out. I mean, maybe not by 97, since only 47 went out the door. But it seems to me that Mazda limited the production more than buyers.
I don't know if they kept it to 47. 47 seems like they ran out of takers at that point.
And I guess that's another point. By the time the NA reached 95, 96, 97, people knew all about them. They knew what they were. And I think people were getting bored with them a little bit.
Well, let's talk about reputation. I mean, so there are some cliches about the Miata. So what are some of them?
It's hard to understand in 2025, at least for me. In the 90s, before enthusiasts took hold of the Miata, and it had a very effeminate connotation to it. So
I
people,
remember thinking the same thing until I drove one.
the way I like to think of it, I was an early adopter. I got to be honest with you, give a shit what people think of me, and I never have. I like what I like. I know who I am, and I'm comfortable with who I am. Don't say it.
We embrace all flavors of Johnny Miata.
People made fun of me a lot. They were like, "You just bought the biggest girl's car ever."
People said, it is a gay man's car. I never quite understood. I never owned a Miata, but I've defended Miata on so many occasions. And the thing I would say to people would be, drive one. That's all you have to do, and you'll get it. And you can think whatever you want, and you can say, oh, it doesn't have a big engine, or it doesn't make big numbers.
It's a car for everyone. It's a car for some. Well, it's not a car for people who have 6 children.
Since we're talking about nicknames that the car earned, and you say it's a car for everyone, we think of like the Corvette as America's sports car. Is there a similar badge to the Miata?
There is. If you're watching this and you've made it this far, I'm going to assume you already know that Miata is always the answer. When it comes to sports cars, if you want a sports car, whether you have a lot of money or you don't have a lot of money, there's a Miata for you. This car levels the playing field, right? Look, I love Porsches and I love some of the higher end stuff, but nothing beats a Miata for entry level sports car fun.
Miata is always the answer. Right now, we're going to do rapid fire Miata trivia, and this is going to cover all 4 generations of Miata. Johnny's got 30 seconds to answer as many questions as he can. Johnny, are you ready? Go.
What was the first model year of the Miata NA in the US? Officially in 1990, although they came out in summer of 1989. Yep. Which generation is famous for the pop-up headlights? The NA. 1.6 liter NA engine code is pass. In 1994, the NA gained a larger engine. It went to 1.8 liters.
Go.
Which generation switched to a 5-lug, the NC?
Yes.
The NC introduced an optional power retractable hardtop. What model year did that debut? It was 2006.
2007.
Darn it. Which generation brought the retractable fastback body style? Ooh, I don't know. 2012?
2017.
Okay.
One more. Okay. One more. Go ahead.
What does Torsen refer to the limited slip differential?
That's right. All right. That's time. All right. Next round. 3, 2, 1.
Which special edition introduced the 6-speed to the 1999 NB? The Shenzhen? Like something like that? Starts with an S? Oh, the 10th anniversary. The blue one with the blue top. Darn it, black and blue interior. Which generation bumped the US 2-liter to 181? The NC.
ND2.
ND2. True or false? All NA Miatas came with a lip. No, false. False.
That's correct.
NB facelift arrived for which model year? 1998?
2001.
Factory turbo US Miata is officially called the Mazdaspeed Miata, or
Yep.
MX-5, fine. Approximate curb weight trend. Which generation is generally the heaviest? It's the newest one. It's like 100 pounds heavier than the first one.
No,
Oh,
NC.
NCs are heavier than an ND. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Which generation returned to a four? It's got to be the ND.
Yes.
On an ND Club manual, what drivetrain bits typically come standard versus Grand Touring? Name one key difference. I pass. I don't know. Mechanical limited slip. Okay. What does R package signify? Okay, it's got lighter wheels. It's supposed to be performance oriented with Bilstein shocks.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Excellent. Go.
Which NA special edition came? It's the 1991.
Yeah.
True or
Go.
false? The NC hardtop
Come on.
disappears into the trunk. If true.
Yeah.
False.
False.
The 1.8 commonly rated around 118 horsepower, give or take.
Ooh.
128. In 2001, the NB gained variable valve timing on the 1.8. What small bump did that bring? Increased horsepower? Increased range? Rotor curve.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. The NB Mazdaspeed factory output was, oh gosh, I don't remember. 170?
178.
178.
That's a lot of that. That's healthy.
Yeah. That's a only one generation used a Ford developed platform. Oh, it's the Mercury, the Capri. Capri?
NC.
NC. Wait. Only one generation used a Ford co-developed platform. I did not know that. All right, I didn't know that. I thought you were going to go with the Mercury. What's the nickname for the 2016 to 2018 versus the power bumped ND? I don't know the nickname. What is it? Oh,
ND1 versus ND2.
the
Yeah.
10th anniversary edition, 1999, was famous for what three mechanical bits as a package? I mean, the limited slip and some Bilsteins.
Yeah.
Okay. Approximate curb weights. Rank these lightest to heaviest. The NA is the lightest, the ND is the second lightest, and the NC is the heaviest.
Yes.
Which generation is the only factory turbo Miata sold in the U.S.? It's the NB.
Boom. Mazdaspeed.
Approximate U.S. curb weight of a base NA 5-speed no hardtop in pounds is it 2,800? Oh
20.
God,
2,800. Johnny. No way. It's way less than
I'm
that.
thinking like NCs. 2,100 pounds is a okay. Approximate
What
U.S.
about
curb weight of a typical NC in pounds. That's going to be like 2,800.
you're a little off.
Okay.
But
Okay.
you're right. It's heavier. It's way heavier than an NA.
Yep. ND2 redline. Does it redline at like 7,400?
Yes.
7,500. Okay.
Close.
Okay.
Very close.
Factory wheel bolt pattern by generation. All right. So 4, 4, 5, 4.
Okay. 4, 4, 5, 4. Yeah, you didn't get the spacing, but we can't expect too much from you. We're getting you up early on a Tuesday morning here.
Model year for the NDRF first appeared in the US. The ND 2019?
17.
17.
That's it. This has been Bid Left Nut. We're wrapping up, and we will see you again next week with more automotive auction content. And as usual,
You should subscribe and share this with
yeah,
your friends.
and please speed safely.
It's good to see everybody. We will see you soon.